Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to also start myself by thanking the organizers of the CS conference, Finance Malta and their team, but also to the extensive list of speakers and participants in today's long event, but which I am sure also has come up with some very important issues. I must say I really enjoyed sitting hearing the debate on the educational front, and I must say that we need to do much more in this. And also in this year's budget, if you will recall, we had announced that we will be setting up a formal structure under the chairmanship of the Minister responsible for education to really bring our education institutions and the industry closer together in an open debate also on the realities we see, the skills required, and therefore the changes we need for our future. Indeed, after such a high-profile list of speakers, it is difficult for me to really entertain a very challenging and interesting comment to end this conference, but I would like to, first of all, put this conference and the sector itself in the context of the realities that we are passing as a world economy. Indeed, the Maltese economy is recovering well from the financial and the global crisis that has gripped the entire world since 2008, returning to a robust growth in 2007, to 3.7% of GDP, but also in 2011 with our forecast of growth within this year. This is important news for not just the financial sector but the whole economy, but I believe it is indeed also being achieved because of the success, partly because of the success of this industry and the efforts you are making within this sector to continue seeing this sector grow. Indeed, Malta has also managed to keep very solid employment levels while generating the growth we have seen and reducing public debt and deficit to more sustainable levels. What is more, the performance should be maintained in 2012 with the growth rates expected to be around 2.2% and also managing to also reduce our deficit to below the 3%, which is so important within financial stability. And I think when we look at the realities out there, financial stability is clearly one of the key factors which has made us ensure that we are able to come out of this crisis pretty quickly when compared to other countries, but also, and in our case even more relevant, not to be deemed part of the PICS club, which, as you well know, is something which is quite serious at the European level at the moment. There's still a big debate about Greece. We have just last few days announced the package to support Portugal. We've had Ireland. We had also other countries that have indicated difficulties. And this is the difficult time we are all facing, but also within the context of where Malta placed is geographically. I think the fact that we have managed as a country to show that we are still moving along the financial stability front, and this thanks to our banks, thanks to also a low level of public debt when compared to other countries. Clearly, this prospers well in terms of also how we are perceived internationally by international clients as an investment opportunity. And therefore, I think we need to really work together to continue attaining these results. There are obviously still risks out there which we need to be conscious of. There are also responses that have to be taken. But I believe that also Malta has been able, in this sense, also within the financial crisis, not to come out merely unscathed, but also to show that sound regulation is important to sustain a reputable jurisdiction. And I believe that we should continue along this front. Clearly, new regulation has now come up at the European level, which we are also obviously embracing and participating in, to ensure that Europe-wide we have more sound financial institutions and financial services. And this is good news also for Malta, because it implies also that there is much more equal playing field and also creates new opportunities for us. I think Malta has made its mark also as a credible financial services centre through the efforts also of yourselves as practitioners and the service providers together with your clients. And in this regard, the legal and regulatory framework has also played a very important role, as has also Finance Malta, which I would like to commend for the efforts it has been making in making effective Malta's message abroad and also in identifying the opportunities also for decision makers. These developments underpin that it is total and increasing an important sector of our economy in terms of both banking, insurance, investment services, trusts and other services we offer, which have managed to make Malta a hub of billions of euros of funds and therefore also becoming an important jurisdiction within what is today called the third pillar in European finance industry circles. Along with our robust financial services sector, we believe we need to continue expanding in new activities such as the trust, the fund industry, pension services, which have become major contributors also to our growth in the economy. The country is now home to around 500 collective investment schemes, particularly alternative investment funds, as well as a significant number of retail and UCITS schemes. Around these is a cluster of highly driven funds, insurance and pensions, providing a very busy community and therefore a sector which is fast growing. But stability and resilience has followed also within the Malta financial sector to continue to flourish despite the crisis surrounding us. The strong capital foundations, our sound banking practices have kept the Maltese economy at a steady course. That confidence in our economy has not wavered, once a lot of faith of other investors has come to our shores and we've seen growth in this sector. Alongside this performance, I believe the policies adopted by government help maintain employment and economic activity across a wide range of export-oriented sectors and therefore achieving the faster growth rates than even expected. We believe the support we have given and targeted to the various sectors of our economy have helped us keep a balance of growth within a very diverse economy. In the budgets we have put forward for this country, we have sought not only to bring financial stability and financial stability also on a public front, but also to create the right policies and incentives to encourage further investment, to provide the adequate training we need for our people, and as been highlighted, there are a lot of other skills we need to continue investing and developing, and therefore creating a robust future. Clearly, the lessons of the past 3 years need to be learned by all, even by ourselves, to ensure that we don't do the mistakes that other countries have done. And therefore, we need to continue working on stability and ensuring that we have the right growth levels in terms of economic performance, that we do remain competitive by making the reforms that are needed, while also continue to identify the opportunities that can be available to us within the global economy. I am also pleased to see that there is increased confidence that we can continue working together also from the various comments made during this conference. I have also noted that there was a number of speakers which addressed also key important issues within the financial services landscape in terms of the new regulatory environment in which we all need to operate, putting it into the right context, identifying the opportunities, but also recovering from the world crisis. The European Union's new regulatory structure, which includes 3 EU-wide supervisory bodies to coordinate the approach of the national regulators in banking, investment and insurance, alongside a new European Seismic Risk Board, is better prepared today to tackle the task of supervising an increasing international business market. We all appreciate that regulation here is an evolution, becoming more sensitive to the varying levels of risk, and also a process that started with banking, but which clearly will move on into other sectors. What this will mean is that regulators will require financial service operators to be more aware of the risks and also to carry and pass on to the customers the right and effective information. This ties in well to the theme of the final panel session held today on the need to continue therefore investing in training and skills to be able to offer the right environment. Allow me to conclude by touching on what I believe to be the 5 points which are critical in terms of ensuring that Malta remains an attractive jurisdiction and continues to make more of the opportunities that are before us. First of all, I think we need to ensure that our jurisdiction will remain not only in a stable environment, but in an environment of repute. And I think we have managed to do this very well in the past through a strong regulator, and I thank the MFSA and its chairman who is with us here today, but also in the way we, you as service providers, have also emphasized this importance with your clients to ensure that we attract the right business to our shore. We also need to ensure that our jurisdiction remains competitive, and therefore to keep abreast with the developments out there, to ensure that we are obviously a jurisdiction which remains competitive, both fiscally but also in terms of the other elements which make our jurisdiction a competitive jurisdiction. We also need to continue widening the opportunities international, especially through the expansion of our double taxation agreement networks. I am pleased to also advise you today that today we have actually initialed the double taxation agreement with Russia, which is an important step and which will continue to opening the opportunities to a completely huge market. We are working hard also in a number of countries in South America because we believe that Malta can indeed become a jurisdiction within the global world and not just within our closest neighbors. We also need to continue investing significantly in our skills and also ensuring that we bring the right skills to our shore. I've heard also the comments being made, obviously rightly, that we need to ensure that we know for the new industries which we are attracted, which we need require also special skills. We need to also make sure that we are preparing our people for those skills. But in the shortcut, we also need to bring the right people to our shores because that will bring also the mix, the interest, and also make the growth which is faster. And this is why we've also introduced such schemes, not because we don't want Maltese to be able to do that, we're sure that we will. This has always happened. If you look at the development of the ICT sector in the past, we attained a level of growth because also we brought in with our jurisdiction certain expertise which we did not have. I believe this is important if we want to continue sustaining the pace of growth which we are seeing in the near future. And lastly, I believe it's very important that we continue working together. I think this is something we have successfully done as a country. Financial services has never been a contentious issue on a political front. Through the establishment also of Finance Malta to have a direct collaboration of the way the public and the private work together to continue promoting Malta as a sector, and I believe if we continue working together, there's indeed an exciting future for the sector, but also for Malta. Thank you.